By trading away DeAndre Ayton, the Suns are taking a massive risk. But what else is new? Ever since the change of ownership, the Suns have been making big move after big move after splash move after splash move. They mortgaged away Mikal Bridges and all of their future first round picks for Kevin Durant. They then gave away all their second round picks and some depth to get Bradley Beal. And now they have traded DeAndre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic and some other pieces to refill that depth. So let's first look at, through this 3-team trade, what the Phoenix Suns received. So they traded away DeAndre Ayton and Toumani Camara, who is their second round pick in this past 2023 NBA draft. And they received Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Now, the biggest piece of this trade for them, of course, is swapping Ayton for Nurkic. So the switch from Ayton to Nurkic, I'll first talk about this from the pure basketball standpoint, the on-the-court X's and O's stuff. Overall, I think Ayton is the better player, but the stuff that Ayton does well or has the potential to do well is not something that the Phoenix Suns need, because they have KD, Booker, and Bradley Beal. You do not need a center that is begging for touches or that wants, to be more involved on the offensive end. A guy like Yusuf Nurkic is perfect. Now, Nurkic is quite limited, right? He's not that great of a jump shooter. He is not that great finishing at the rim, but he sets hard screens. He rolls hard. He's a pretty good passer out of the pick and roll. And if you look at some of the advanced metrics on, how the Blazers have been when Nurkic has been on the floor versus off the floor defensively, Nurkic is a decent rim protector as a center. The reason I think this swap even happened in the first place, though, doesn't have to do with X's and O's basketball stuff, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with all the off-the-court stuff. So we just know in the past few years that the Suns and Ayton have not had a good relationship with one another. There's been chemistry issues, character issues, leadership issues. And yes, this is, of course, a risk trading away a 25-year-old former number one overall pick who has put up good numbers. But there's also a risk of keeping a guy like this around who clearly does not have the proper chemistry with the rest of the team. So like I said, I actually like the on-the-court fit of Nurkic with the rest of the Phoenix Suns roster. So the on-the-court stuff is not where I think the risk comes in. The risk comes in with all the off-the-court stuff. So Nurkic has not been healthy the last 4 years. So 2019 was the last year he played 70 plus games. He was fully healthy that season. But in the 4 years since 2019, he has played 8 games, 37 games, 56 games, and 52 games. And that's not good. Whatever you want to say about DeAndre Ayton, he's at least been much more available than Nurkic has. And so that's an issue. And it's a big risk because the center position is where the Phoenix Suns are thinnest in terms of their roster depth. And if Nurkic goes down, I have no idea how they're going to fill in those minutes or what they're going to do. So we just look at the centers on their roster. Bol Bol is more hype than substance. I mean, he's still young enough to where maybe he has the potential to grow into something better, but I am not a firm believer that he is a good rotational player in the NBA. They also have Drew Eubanks, who I guess is considered a center, but he would be pretty undersized at center. And even if he can play center, I don't know if you want to play him more than like 15 minutes per game. And that's pretty much it at their center spot. I mean, then you have to start talking about things like, can we play Kevin Durant at center, which is, I mean, not to say Durant has never played center. He did in Golden State, but Durant is like 35 years old now and has taken a big step back defensively. The good news, though, is that the Phoenix Suns did get back other pieces in this trade as well, and those pieces actually matter a lot. So Grayson Allen is just a quality role player. Grayson Allen has had his really sort of stand out bad moments on the Bucks where he simply tried to do too much. But I also feel like, for the Milwaukee Bucks these last 2 years, they've actually entrusted Grayson Allen to do more than he should. I don't know if it's necessarily Grayson Allen's fault that, he was doing too much on the ball and running pick and rolls and stuff like that. I feel like if Grayson Allen can buy more into his role and play to his strengths, which is just catch and shoot and play tough defense, he can be a really good piece for the Phoenix Suns. Keon Johnson, I'm not going to talk about too much. I mean, Keon Johnson has shown very, very little in the NBA. He's a very speculative role player. I would be surprised if he is able to get any sort of significant minutes on this Phoenix Suns team. I feel like they actually have a lot of other players that should take precedent over Keon Johnson. So not going to talk or care about him too much. Nasir Little has shown more than Keon Johnson for sure. If he can improve his three-point shot, Nasir Little has a chance to crack the rotation maybe be that 8th or ninth guy for the Phoenix Suns. And I have to say, overall, the Suns roster actually looks pretty good. Given the fact that after the Bradley Beal trade, like I said in that video when I covered the Beal trade, they were completely at the mercy getting minimum contract guys to fill out the rest of their roster. I mean, they've done a good job getting veteran minimum guys. You know, getting Eric Gordon for the minimum was absolutely amazing, and Eric Gordon definitely took a discount to play in Phoenix. They also got guys like Yuta Watanabe, who I feel like some other team could have easily offered him a little bit more than the minimum. Bates Diop, I really like as well. So taking a look at just this Suns roster right now, your guaranteed starters, if healthy, are of course Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic. And then the fifth guy, I imagine is going to be Josh Okogie, although it could be Bates Diop. But either way, really like the idea of Eric Gordon coming off the bench as a sixth man at this point in his career. And now you actually have like 6 players to choose from who can all potentially develop into that playoff role player that you need when the time comes. So we're talking guys like Damian Lee, Bates Diop, Watanabe, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little. So like out of those 5 guys, you really just need 2 of them to become quality, trustworthy role players come playoff time. The only thing though, again, is that they are very thin at center. So they either just have to hope and pray that Nurkic can have his first healthy season in 4 years, or they're going to make another trade, or Bol becomes good, or Eubanks becomes good. They have to hope for something. Assuming Nurkic is healthy, though, this team looks really good, and this team looks like it has enough depth to make a finals run. So overall, if I had to give the Phoenix Suns a grade for this trade, I would give it maybe a B or B+. Like, I like it. I like it. I think it was a good trade. Given the opportunity, they should have taken a trade like this. And, you know, they've already taken so much risk by trading for Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. Why not just add more to it? You're going all in anyways. Okay, that's it for me. I've now covered all 3 aspects of this 3-team deal. If you have not seen the other videos, you can go back and watch them. I did one video covering how Damian Lillard impacts the Bucks. I did another video talking about whether or not Portland made the right trade and got back the right pieces for them. So go check that out if you haven't already. But otherwise, I'll see you soon. NBA season's starting, and we'll see how all these teams play out.